Hi everyone. I just wanted to make a video. I kind of touched on this in another video that I just made, but I thought maybe this is important enough to make a separate video on. Just stress and dealing with it. I'm really looking for some support in this because I'm at the point where I don't know what to do. If you watch my other videos, I was raised in a really fundamentalist Lutheran home, and my parents are very, very fundamentalist, and I was church every Sunday. I was raised very, very religious, and now when I was 17 was when I started doubting. When I was 18 I was an atheist for most of that time, but I still lived at home, so I didn't tell anyone until I came to university, and then I started coming out to my friends, and now I'm really open about it. So that's just something you need to know about me in order to understand this. My parents still have no idea as far as I know, and I'm just really torn on what to do about it. And in a lot of ways, people don't understand how much indoctrination affects a person. I wrote an essay about this, and my prof was really, really impressed by it. But indoctrination is like a serious issue. You can be religious, but to indoctrinate your children, that's child abuse. I know firsthand what it's like. I still feel the effects of indoctrination, even though I'm not religious. I don't believe in God, but I still feel the effects of it. So I'm just gonna share some of the experiences that I've had, and maybe some of you can relate to this and tell me your story. I'd love to hear it, or let me know how to fix this, how to feel better. So one of the big things for me is every time I see anything, like I can't watch any the horror movies about demons and angels and that kind of thing. Like I can't. It scares me. It's so weird. I don't believe in demons or angels or any supernatural thing, or ghosts. I don't believe in any of that, but it just terrifies me. I can't watch any of those, and whenever I see them, it just like gets in my head, and it gets me really worked up, and I can't I don't know what to do. I don't know how to resolve that, because it's like it doesn't make any sense. I don't believe in it, but I still feel like in the back of my mind it's still, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if I'm still subconsciously religious, which is, I don't know how else to explain it. Now that I'm like away from my parents were very against partying and drinking, so I drink socially with friends, and every time if I get really drunk, I'll cry every time. And it's always about religion. And one time my friend, she was like, well, Idella, it sounds like you're still religious. You still believe in God. After one of my outbursts. And that's just like, ever since then, I've kind of realized that in my brain I'm obsessed with it, in a way. It's always nagging at the back of my mind, no matter what I do. I have this guilt whenever I do something sinful. I have this guilt, even though I know I'm not doing anything wrong. I can't help but feel guilty about it. And it really, really bothers me sometimes. It really, really stresses me out. And I'm a very anxious person. I think that's just how I am naturally, but it stresses me out so much. There's sometimes where I'm really concerned. Like I go on a lot of walks, and that really helps me relieve stress, like really long, like I'll go on like 4-hour walks, literally. And there's kind of this lake by our university that I walk around. And there was one time, it was like late at night, and I decided to go for a walk because I was just so stressed and I didn't care. They were like, it's dangerous here at night in this area. There's a lot of like bad things that go on, a lot of crime that goes on in this area that I walk through at night, and I just didn't care, and it was like 10 p.m. and I just started walking around, and there are people driving past me, and it just, something in my head, I just felt, I don't know how to describe it. It was weird, and I don't do drugs or anything. Like, I wasn't high, I wasn't drunk at the time. I was sober. I was completely sober. But I just like kept walking, and I was listening to my music, and I was blaring it really loud, and then I just started crying, and I kept walking and like stumbling, and I felt so, it was so weird. Like, my skin was just numbed, and I just felt so strange, and some cars like drove past me, and they like stopped, and they're like, "Are you okay? Like, do you need me to drive you somewhere? Do you need me to call someone?" And I just kept walking, and I ran into people, and it was just such a strange experience, and I did that for like hours, and then I don't know, I just somehow got back to my dorm, and I just went to bed, I guess. But stuff like that, seems to happen often to me. And it's gonna be really hard for me to post this, but I think I should. I booked an appointment. There's counselors here free of charge on the university campus, so I booked an appointment because I thought, okay, that's really messed up, like I need help with this. But then when I try and explain this to my friends, I get like this, I get really awkward, and I don't know what to say, and I just get really emotional about it. So I was afraid that was going to happen at the counselor, and I always have this fear that the counselor is going to be religious, and then they're going to rat me out, and it'll just be worse for me in the end, and I'll just get more stressed about it, or they'll try and send me to a pastor or something. It's kind of a dumb, irrational fear. It is a dumb, irrational fear. But they could be. You never know. And if I can't explain myself, they can't really help me. So that's why I just didn't go. The summer's been hard for me. It's been a good summer. It's been a nice summer. I've made a lot of changes, a lot of good changes. But the more I evolve as a person, the more confident I feel with myself here, the harder it is for me to see my parents and my family, which adds a lot of stress. It's really hard to live as two people. I just want to say that indoctrination is a real and a serious thing. I've called myself an atheist for it's 2 years now. And I think it's weird to say it, but subconsciously I think I still believe in it. And I still believe in this God, all-powerful God, all-knowing God that's gonna send me to hell. And this devil that's out to get me. I still believe in that subconsciously, I feel like. And there's no reason to. There's absolutely no reason to. This is kind of an afterthought. I thought of this while editing, but one thing I recently found when I was going through some of my old stuff in my room, when I was 15 and 16 was when I was probably my most devoutly religious, 14 to 16. When I was 16, in some kind of youth event at my church, I actually signed a contract of some kind, a contract saying that I would not have premarital sex. And I don't want to go into too much detail about this because this is quite private, but like that's probably where a majority of my guilt comes from. is the repression of sexuality, which it doesn't help any. It makes it worse. You can see that with the Catholic Church and just all groups that try and repress sexuality. It just does the complete opposite. It makes it worse. It makes more rape and more teen pregnancy and more unsafe sex. I just have such a big issue with that, because it's obvious that it's not helping. It's obvious that it's actually making it much worse. And to inflict such guilt, I'm sure people can relate to this, but like such, I don't know how else to describe it, like major guilt on a natural biological function is really, really harmful. So I think that's kind of the main reason why, like, I can never hold any relationships, because it's just, the guilt is just extreme for me. And it's fucking stupid, really. It's stupid. It's dumb. It makes no sense. So I guess kind of my main point in this video is how to deal with stress. I know a lot of people have had much worse experiences than me with religion, and like obviously there's been a lot worse. I'm at the point where I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm going crazy or something. So if you're able to provide some advice, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and have a good rest of your day.